Ladies! Hey ladies and gents. A happy Friday. Love cakes. Oh my goodness. Have so much going on. Now, what you are going to see in this video is going to start out the same as before. We are going to go over what I wear under my wigs. So, and do not fast forward if you've only seen the synthetic video version of this, because I'm going to go into the lace grips that have, oh my gosh, I just poked my eye. I'm going to go into the lace grips that have the human hair attached to them. And I did not do that in synthetic because I don't think my synthetic and my human hair like to play or look very well together. So I don't wear them together. And you're also going to see a closure and bundles. So I will kind of give you an advanced notice of what kind of things you're going to see ahead with wig making. Okay, so stay tuned. Look at these for like little previews, current time of what segment we're on, and then also look for what's ahead. Last but not least, I had a really hard week this week. I made this video that was sharing with you some personal things about me, and I know this channel is about wigs. It's about sharing hair and hair tips and reviews and all that good stuff. I didn't post it because I don't want to mesh things. Give me some feedback on that. We'll definitely do my part to share more than just the happy laughter, look at all my wigs and let's talk about wig stuff and projects and things, and share with you more of the vulnerable moments that are happening. Not that there'll be a lot of them, but you know, just here and there if you're interested, because I know sometimes how they talk about like on Facebook, when all you ever see from your friends are like happy moments, then sometimes it just kind of gives you that idea in your head that everybody else's life is so happy. And then you feel like you have this standard that you must live up to, and you can't, because nobody's life is really like that, but it just seems that way. So that's what I'm trying to get at. If you just want to come here for wig videos, totally cool. I will not be offended if you're like, no, Mandy, please just keep it on wig videos. I really don't care about whatever else is going on. I'll go to the wig support groups for that. I respect that. But if you would like to see some of those, then I will do those that are going to be dedicated just to that and put that in the headline, so that way nobody, you know, has to click on it, or I won't be clickbaiting you with anything. And if you're not interested in that, then you can just wait for the next video that comes out. I live by Too Fast, Too Furious, I guess. And also, I'm in my husband's office, like in a little corner in my husband's office, because it's been raining like crazy here in Texas. I don't know what is going on, maybe everywhere in the world, but it has really been crazy raining. It's been craining. So all of my boys are in the house. And so I'm just trying to go to like one little nook of the house that's kind of quiet, so you don't have to hear me try and contend with like TV or Xbox or whatever it is that they're doing. Okay. Stay tuned. There's talk coming up. What you're going to see in this next section before we get to the wig reviews, what you're going to do with your bio hair, if you have any. Talking about different types of ways to keep your under hair garments sanitary up here underneath the wig. Then we're going to talk about wig grips, and we're going to see wig grips versus lace grips. And we are going to talk about why it might be more difficult to get human hair to try on versus the synthetic. You can go to a beauty supply shop and try on a whole bunch of them. It might be a little bit harder to do that with human hair. And last thing I did not even go to in the next section, but I will just briefly talk about right here, is if you are a makeup type of person, I wear makeup more days than not, when you go to try on your wigs, consider doing your makeup first. The only reason I point that out is because in my experience, when I've tried on new wigs and I don't have any makeup on or anything, I will find that I'm being critical of myself when I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and it's more about this rather than this. So in order to give your hair a chance, if you know that you're going to be critical of yourself without any makeup on and you really just feel a lot better with your makeup on, or maybe even for reasons of lace, if you're going to be trying an all lace wig or a lace front, remember that your complexion is huge. As we've talked about before, thank goodness that this is not a beauty or tanning YouTube, because I'd be failing right now because I need to do my self-tan on my hands better. But the point is, if you want that lace to be perfection and melt right on in your skin, you need to make sure that you're wearing the color for your complexion that you will be on the daily. Consider doing it before you do all your hair trying on and trying on new hair, or decide to write off hair or accept it. Now enjoy the next rest of this video, which was done in a different outfit. Totally not because I'm trying to be a diva, but it's split up over a couple days. All right, my lovelies, let's jump right in, shall we? The last video that I did that is similar to this, only it was on synthetics, we started off with talking about doing your hair underneath. I don't have any plans on making a video on that. Nobody has asked about that. I think a lot of people have either figured out or Googled already what they'd like to do. But if you're curious, when I had longer hair, I did braid my hair either in a French, like a French braid, or 3 different French braids, a shell braid, whatever, but basically a braid that went down the back of your head and used all of your hair. And now that I've got like this short little pixie cut thing, I haven't done anything. It's like all spiky and crazy underneath there. And you don't have to wear anything underneath your wig. That's A. B, if you want to be a little bit more sanitary in case you think maybe you're going to sell your wig later, and other people do care about that and what you've worn or not worn underneath your wig, then you might want to use like a pantyhose, panty liner, a panty liner. I swear, not even drink a beer, I promise you. Ridiculous. You could use a pantyhose wig cap. Looks like pantyhose material, and it goes all the way around your head underneath the wig cap. It keeps your hair intact. It keeps it from going all crazy. You don't have to braid it if you don't want to. It keeps your sweat and all that other good stuff mostly off of the inside of the wig cap, and like dandruff or anything else like that that you might have going on. It keeps it totally contained under that wig cap. A lot of people don't like those for those very same reasons of being contained. I don't like them because anything that's tight on the perimeter of my head gives me headaches. I don't know why. So I have to be careful not to put my wig grip too tight, because this is another option that you can wear underneath your wigs. But this is less of like a sanitary thing and more of just this helps to keep your wig in place. So sometimes people will use the hose wig caps because then there's like a little bit of a band, and sometimes they'll cut them off and then use glue or gels or whatever to make it stick to their head. And without that band there, and if you're crafty with makeup, you can make it look like a skin top cap. So when you put a lace wig or otherwise on top of it, you don't see any sort of change of color underneath. You don't see your own hair. You just see what appears to be your makeup or your foundation blending on in with your scalp. I've tried that before. Just my preference here, I like to use these not only for the reason of not having to worry about all of that maintenance to adhere, you know, with gel. I literally just usually use a wig grip and then tape if I feel the need to adhere my lace front, which we're also going to now look at some lace wig grips. Again, it's just my preference to like freehead it. When you buy a used wig, you have to kind of assume that they've maybe worn it without a wig cap from time to time. Now I'm into this whole silk base thing. We'll get into that here in a second. Let's just stick right now to the what you wear underneath. So you can either braid, you can freehead, whatever you want to do. And then once you're past that point and you decide that you want to maybe use a wig grip, you can either use one that's just a standard wig grip and you could put your wig over it, or you can use one of these. I felt like Samantha and Bewitched right there. Happy Saturday, all of a sudden. I know I was just talking about something and now here we are. My husband came home and we got to chatting last night, so I didn't get to finish the video, but I did rewatch it this morning and decided I wanted to redo the whole conversation on lace wig grips, because I realized I totally jumped over some of the things I wanted to point out. So I didn't want to erase what you've just seen, but let's move the conversation forward a second. So not only have I changed clothes and backgrounds, but you will see that I am now wearing this standard wig, which I totally glazed over the fact that when I'm calling it a standard wig doesn't mean that like it's a basic bitch. Sorry. But what I mean by that is there's no lace front. So it does not have a lace front. It is a standard like stock cap that has not had a lace front added to it. And using the silk base because that's my thing these days. I love that. I wanted to show you though, because in the first part of this video, you see it partnered with a lace wig grip. One of these. Now I know that this video is intended to focus on my human hair units, but these are human hair and it's a very important part of this. So again, that's why I kind of had these time markers here so you can fast forward and flip through to only get what's gonna help you. I hate to assume that when you're watching this, you've seen everything up through now, but you might just tune in for what you like. or what interests you, and then maybe you never watch another one again. Regardless, I'm just here to help. So I need to back myself up, and let's talk about wig grips. So the wig grip, it is this one, as you will see, I am wearing underneath my standard cap that does not have lace front added on it. And this is a velvet lined material. I've shown you those earlier. They are just, looks like a headband, and I've got this one on. Some of them have a lace front added, and we'll look at these in just a second. But then this one is just a standard one that it has this little logo on it. All of the ones that I've purchased previously, they were all $20 each or less. They're different colors, and they're all made out of this velvet material, so that if you've got hair underneath that you are putting this wig grip on top of, it's gripping your hair. It's creating a traction on your hair, and so it's helping to keep it in place. And then it does the same thing with the inside of a wig cap. Now, if you don't have any hair, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of experience in that arena, but I do understand that there are caps that are made specifically for people who don't have hair underneath. And so you wouldn't probably be using one of these wig grips. You might want to find something that would be silicone lined. I think there are some that are called something slightly different, but anyways, you want to look for something that looks like it's got like a little, it's not necessarily plastic, but that silicone coating on the inside of a wig cap and or the grip itself. They make those specific to that. Oh, I wanted to show you the difference and how this looks, the standard cap without a lace front added on it. Stands out a little bit more in my opinion, but still looks pretty good. It reminds me a lot of like the synthetic Noricos that I've had before, that just the way that the hair is on this wig cap, it is threaded in there at the very edge with a nice density that looks real, and then it kind of comes over, so it creates a shadow right there. And then that's some of my own hair that's coming out. So if you don't have any baby hairs or anything, or maybe if I were to pull some of my baby hairs out, it might help that to look a little bit more realistic. And I'll talk more about this wig later once we get into the wig, so don't worry, I will give you more information on this in a second, but I just want to stick to the wig grip discussion right now. I'm just using this as an example. The wig grip, I mentioned they all have that little logo there. I'm sorry if I got sidetracked there, but I meant to tell you that they all have instructions with them, or the ones that I bought had instructions, and they all indicate putting this logo so that it's, you know, straight ways up, like not upside down, so you could read it if you're looking at it, and in front of the ear, slightly in front of the ear. So that way when you get it, you know how to turn it if it's inside out, so it's outward, facing up, and then slightly in front of your ear. However, just like we've talked about so many different times, and I think the biggest thing to understand in this wig game is that there's not one thing that's gonna work for everyone. So again, with the wig grips, in that same concept, they do indicate on there that if you put it on your head and you're not feeling a good traction, move it around, try it behind your ear. Try it, you know, in different angles, because that velvet just might be the way that your hair is underneath, that you've got it laid. Like mine is going flat back because it's a little pixie cut and there's not many other places for it to go, or different directions. But maybe it's the way that your hair is underneath that. Try moving your hair around. Try, you know, putting it all back and then putting it on top. Let's move into the lace wig grips. I have several of them that I'm going to show you. They have lots of different names. Lots of different companies make them. Milano makes one called I-Band. I know Jewish Wigs Only and New One Wigs also make a version of this, but they call them a lace grip, so that's what I always call them. I didn't get any of the ones I'm about to show you from any of those companies. I actually got them from 2 different companies, neither of which have them on their websites. I will link the information in the description box, as I always do. But as a heads up, you're probably not going to see them on their websites. I've since found out that the ladies I worked with were like brokers, and so they might be affiliated to one company, but I'm working directly with some vendor contacts, and so I'm going outside of the web page, which means when you go to order something, if you went to McDonald's and you asked for like a Arby's sandwich, they'd be like, oh, we don't have that here. You talk to somebody who is a chef at McDonald's, but you're not necessarily at the McDonald's when you're talking to him, and you're like, I'd like an Arby's sandwich. He's like, let me see what I can do to make that happen. That's kind of where I think I'm at with some of my contacts with the wigs. So I've made these contacts, and so I've gotten products, and I don't mean to be misleading when I tell you a company and then you go out there and you're like, I don't see what you got. I just realized since afterwards that some of the things I've gotten are not on the website. How does that help you? Well, it really doesn't. So that's why I'm explaining this right now, is I don't want to waste your time and going to some of these companies and then not seeing what you're looking for. There are other options though, which is why I brought up Milano, JWO, NOW, all of those other companies you can get them from. You can find them on eBay. You can find them on the reseller groups and Facebook. And how about this? I know I referenced earlier that we're gonna have some videos coming up on making your own wig, because I love do-it-yourself and craft, and you totally can do it. But you can make your own lace grip as well. In fact, I'm hoping to do one of those tonight. So I really wanted to do that, but I want to video it for you. I knew I wanted to finish this video first. But what is a lace wig grip, and how could you do this on your own, you say? Okay, a lace wig grip is basically one of these, like I talked about earlier. The lace grips with a lace front attached to it. Mind blown. So you could totally make one of these on your own. Let me show you one that's made. Then stay tuned, because I will make another video, hopefully tonight, on how to make your own lace wig grip. Here's one that I've already cut the lace off of. So this is what it looks like, you can see. And then I'm gonna show you how, so that was the front. And that's how you'd wear it. Now this is the inside, so you can see that the lace was sewn directly onto the edge of this wig grip. Now let me show you the opposite side of this with the knots and all that good stuff. Clementine, the apple of my eye. So let's see. You can see. Oh, I forgot. I will insert right now a clip of me from last night. I showed you wearing this with this, what it looked like, and discussed also my thoughts on lifting and not having to adhere with tape, because then that's the next part of this, is once you determine how you're going to wear your hair, is trying to get it to stick to your head. And you know I love tape. If you watch any of my videos, I love to adhere lace fronts with tape. But I found with these lace wig grips, I don't know how it works, but I'll talk more about that in this video. So get ready to see me in different clothes again from last night, and I'll be right back after that. We'll talk some more. The point of these lace wig grips would be you can wear them with a standard wig. So I've got one on now. I wanted to show you up front. You can see a little bit of my hairline there. Again, I don't have it adhered because I knew I'd be changing out wigs and doing a review here all the time about adhering my wigs, because I want to be able to flip them around and move them around. But there's something about the way that it stays on your head. I mean, you can see me right now, it's pulling up. But with this wig on top of it, I don't even find the need most days to adhere. I usually lay mine right on my hairline, so if you can tell. I just lay where the hairline goes on my hairline. If not, maybe even a little bit behind, just to get some of my own baby hairs, like right there, out. And then you put the wig on top. You blend it. Sorry, last thing, you blend it. I colored it myself, so I left a lot of brown in there, and it just happened to match with this wig grip. But you can see I did not adhere this wig grip down with anything, but it does, you know, does pretty well with the flip test. So I like to flip my hair around. Once you get it in place, get it just kind of stick down with, I guess, the weight of the wig on top of it. I just really find myself preferring this method to getting a lace wig with front on it. So I've been buying these standard caps that have the silk base but no lace front on them, and then partnering them up with a lace front wig grip, because it's like 2-in-1 in my head. A, if something goes wrong with the lace front, the whole wig is not ruined. It's literally just the wig grip, which you can get for under $100, and they can be versatile with so many different other wigs, especially if you like to wear a lot of the same type of colors. And it seems to also, because of the wig grip, it keeps the wig in place. So not only is it helping, you know, the wig's weight on top of that keeps this lace front down so I don't have to wear any tape or anything with it, but then it's also keeping the wig in place. You don't have to do any of the clips into your hair. You can legit just put it on and put it on. And that's how I've been wearing with so many different wigs. I've tried this method. I try to be cautious about promoting things like this until I can try it out long enough and see if it really works with like other types of wigs or not. But I'm telling you, this is my favorite way to wear my wigs. So I don't think I'll be buying any more lace front wigs anytime soon. I'll just be buying the standard cap and partnering them up with my lace front wig grips. So I will tell you all the details around each one of these wigs that I'm getting ready to show and try on. And unfortunately, like in the synthetic video, I talked about going to the beauty supply store, trying on a few, or maybe phoning a friend and asking them to let you try out some of their units. Human hair, I don't know if you're gonna have as many friends who are willing to loan, although I think one of the really, really popular blogs is Corner of Hope in Maine. I've heard that she has a blog and that there's a group that they do that. They share hair and stuff. So if you're interested in that, you can go look that up. There might be a small fee or like a membership fee or something, but outside of that, unfortunately, with these human hair, they're just so much more expensive than some of the synthetics, or they're just harder to find where you can try them on. And I think that that's probably due to all the things we just talked about with wearing a wig cap. That, I mean, you still have to be concerned about hygiene with the synthetic, but I don't know if lice or things like that can really live in synthetic fibers like the same as they do with human hair. So I think that that might be more of the concern. Plus, a synthetic, it seems like you can revive with steamer, where human hair, you kill it, it might be done for. There's no maybe coming back sometimes. You've pulled all the color out of that cuticle and it will just break off and die. And I know that can happen with synthetics too, but I think it might be a little bit harder for a synthetic to die the way human hair does, or at least get weathered. You know, you go out in the rain wearing a synthetic, she's still looking awesome when you get in wherever you're going. Style is not affected. You go outside in the weather, in the rain, wearing a human hair, it's just like your own hair. Unless you got some sort of bulletproof style spray. So I think that's the same thing just like in general, and that's why it's harder to get a hold of some of these human hairs to try them out. But I hope this helps regardless, and again, I will give you all the details I can. Stay tuned. Here we go. Meow, kitty cat. I'm going to try and keep the wig reviews in somewhat sort of like order or related fashion. We are going to start off with lace human wigs that I've got. This is actually the very first human hair lace wig that I bought. It did not come to me the way it looks right now, and I don't know, I probably should have maybe even tried to style it to show you what it looks like. I mean, it's not terrible. It's kind of frizzy though, and if I were to wear this myself, I would want it to be some sort of heat styling done to tame them frizzes. I got from Amazon. And the reason I meowed at you was because it came to me from Prime Kitty. It was, here we go. I say it was because I have done lots of things to this since, but it came to me like this. Human hair wig, 1B, 18 inches in length, and then the texture was 130% density actually is what that is standing for. You can see already that this lace is not at all on my darkest day in my life would this ever match me. So you can see right there that it's not melting by any means. But when I saw that the lace wasn't gonna work, I still kind of wanted to play around with this because I thought maybe Maybe I could do some sort of makeup or concealer or something to make it blend with my skin tone before I just decided to give up on that method altogether. But then I decided to have some fun with her and color her, see how blonde I could get her. And I think it came to a really pretty like ashy brown blonde. You can still see in some light some like reddish hues. And I think it's just that whatever texture that this hair was or is, it just is very, very, well, it was a 1B. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be hard to take anything from a 1 up to a 10 without completely killing it. I also did pluck this poor thing to death. I've tried to pluck and try and get that. It was still really thick in the front, so I tried to pluck it in order to make it look more realistic in the front. And I can't pluck for my life, or at least I couldn't then. We'll try it again in another video to come. But I also wanted to show you that I'm wearing underneath here just a standard wig grip, and so you can see it right there. And that's what I was talking about with making sure that you get a wig grip. If you're gonna wear a wig grip with it, get one that matches your skin tone, so you don't see that where it starts. Or perhaps wear the hose cap, the pantyhose cap that we talked about earlier underneath this to make it look more like skin. So this is the Prime Kitty. You might be able to contact them and get a lighter lace. Again, it's not terrible. It's not really the best quality I've seen, but I also did, that's mostly probably me because I did kill it. I really bleached the crap out of it and used it as a science experiment with just different colors and playing with it and see where I could lift it to. So this is this. Let me show you the cap too. So this is the all lace cap. As you can see, it just has a little bit of that like kind of mesh material right there. But for the most part, it's all lace, which means if you're gonna wear this with some sort of liner underneath, or if you're gonna wear this with a skin top type of cap, or however, you could part this and you wouldn't see anything besides the lace and whatever you're wearing underneath that. Also, every bit of this is hand tied. So it's not only all lace, but it's also, there's no wefting in there. This was made 100% by each hair was tied to this wig cap. So no wefting, 100% all lace wig cap right here. This one is also hand tied, 100% hand tied and all lace. I can't even like look at myself with this one on. So this is beautiful color, beautiful. I bought it secondhand in the Facebook groups. It was just under $400. I bought it from a girl, very sweet girl, but I got it from a girl who said it was made by Essence Luxe Couture, and I will link all the information that I was given on it right here. So my issues with this first and foremost is, and I don't know if it was from the company or from the girl. I'm not gonna even try, and I'm just gonna tell you what I found when I got it. So buying secondhand. The hair is very pretty, beautiful color. And she did mention that it was like fuller up top, and then it seemed to go down to a longer length, like in a natural way. For me, I feel like I'm rocking like a mullet, or maybe I went back into time and I'm like looking like I got that like 80s teased hair up here, but it's actually just a lot of hair. So I could thin this out. I know there are a lot of different things I could do to try and fix this, but the first thing I tried to do was, I've got some of it in a bag. Oh, weird, I know. But this is some extra on the front that I cut off because the way that this cap, it just didn't fit me at all. It was really loose, so I had to tighten it. And then when I tightened it, it was like coming down to here, but I couldn't put it on. It's really hard to explain, but basically the cap just didn't fit me, even though it was supposed to be a medium. So I cut off some of the front And that seemed to help. But like when you ever hear me, and if you've watched a lot of my videos, you hear me say this a lot, flapping in the wind. This is what that kind of stemmed from. Overall, very gorgeous hair. I've tried to wear it so many times, and even though it's really full up here, I will still try and use like the Got2b glue or tape or whatever to adhere this and wear it, because the lace is perfect. I know you can't really tell, but that lace, when I put it down on my head, it really matches my skin tone to a T. The color is great. The hair, I mean, I've not really done a lot with like heat styling and stuff to know about, but I mean, it feels good. It air dries. I've not done anything to it, so it just air dried like this. Really, I mean, I want to love it so much. And even though I'm not really into all lace, this is why I'm not really into all lace, is because I can't, this isn't a grab and go unless I just don't touch it at all and let it just kind of hang in my face and just wear it like this, which I'd be super nervous at any time that somebody's going to come up and be talking to me and see like something like that, or the wind is gonna, it's gonna be windy, and yeah, I can't do that. So this is not, again, a bad option if you don't mind adhering your wigs every day with something. It just didn't work for me. So Essence Luxe Couture is where she said she got it from. As I mentioned, it is all lace. So again, I would probably have to be cautious about what I wear under here to make sure that the parting space, you don't see like a wig grip or something. Again, another reason I'm into the silk base rather than all lace. Just me though, just me. I will show you the inside of the cap now. And just remember when I show you that I did cut part of that and that I sewed the inside to make it fit my head a little bit better. It's the front. It's the back. You can see where I sewed some of that together. It was really big, so I just put it together and sewed it. If you're interested in any of that, let me know and I will make a video on that. I might still have some of that saved. And the reason that I kept this in a bag is not because I'm just weird like that, but I did debate at one point sewing this onto a wig grip and making this a wig grip, but the lace just doesn't stay taut to anything the way it's been cut. So I'm just kind of keeping it because I have no idea what in the world I'm going to do with it, but maybe one day I'll figure that out. All right, my boys just came back, so if you hear noises now, it's just, that's the way it is when you live in a house full of boys. I know some of you understand. Some of you have a whole house full of girls, and God bless you. Can't imagine a whole house full of me's running around. All right, this next wig is one that I got off of eBay. I got it from the seller outgoings_UK. I've since been told that the picture that they used on the ad is actually coming from a Freedom Couture model. And I don't condone that at all, but I still just want to go ahead and show you what I got and the quality and everything, because I did purchase it and it is in my collection. So this was the ad. It was sold to me as a 16-inch, and then I'll give you the specifications right here. I did do a color correction afterwards because some of these cool brown colors that you can see, I put those in on top of some auburn tones that were in there. Outside of that, it was the quality's okay. And if you're into all lace and you're wearing this with something else, it would be fine. I also did since make this into a workout wig because I've decided I'm not really into lace wigs, and I have these lace wigs sitting around, so I wanted to do something with it. So what you can see right there, that is a little bit of thread, and that's for me, because when I show you the inside of the cap, I sewed a wig grip to the inside to help this stay on my head, and then I can wear it up and then put like a headband right over where that lace is. Not the lace, right where the thread, put a headband right over where the thread is right there. And then I can wear this up. I can pull out some of my own or pull out some of these baby hairs here. And then with the headband keeping it down, it really does work out pretty well. And that is the advantage, I think, of the all lace wigs, is that they are very breathable. So that is one thing that I will keep my all lace wigs around for, is exercising. I'll show you the inside. So here's the inside of the cap. As you can see, it is the all lace wig cap, and everything has been 100% hand tied. And then you can see I tied this, or I sewed this wig grip all around the perimeter in order to keep it on and keep it from flapping in the wind while I'm out getting my exercise. Another item to note is that that wig I just showed you came to me in this box. Hot Queen. It did not say anything about Hot Queen on the advertisement, but I did want to note that this is how it came. All right, this one is one that I've shown you in a review previously, as it's one that I got from one of my contacts. I will put the information in here and also in the description. I can't recall, this is also an all lace, fully hand-tied, 100% hand-tied lace wig. I got it right before I started really digging into the Jewish style with the silk base. So this was the last one that I purchased before I realized I didn't really want all lace. With all that said, I think the quality is fantastic, which is why I haven't done anything with it yet, because I don't want to cut off that lace and ruin it for maybe somebody else who would like this. And so maybe I'll still try and do something with this and either keep it for myself as like an experiment wig, or try and resell it to somebody, because it really has just been sitting in a box. But I can't remember if I toned the hair or if it came to me in this tone, but I was intending to color correct these auburn colors up here. This is actually the same auburn kind of tones that were in that wig that I told you I did color correct a couple right before this. So I know I can do it, I just had not gotten around to doing it. So I like this. The quality is really nice. The hair is really nice. The seller was extremely nice. And the baby hairs on this were great. They gave me quite a bit of baby hair. In fact, I think I was even debating, oh, and this lace, obviously, as you can tell, it's the perfect for my skin tone. When I back up, you can't even see where the line is. So everything about this is fantastic. I'm just not into all lace. If there's a silk base right here and then this was on a fitted cap, I would love it. But I debated maybe even cutting a portion of this off and tying it to a wig grip, since there is so much extra. But again, I'd hate to ruin this for the rest of the wig. I don't know what I'd do with that, and that seems like an extreme waste of money to just get a wig grip out of that. Anyhow, I will link the information and share with you the cap construction here in just 1 second. Here's the inside of the cap. Again, looks very similar to the other ones. Happy Halloween! That's what I feel like right now. This next group of hair, this hair and this hair, came with some others that I got in a bundle deal on Facebook from another girl. I'll dig into that in a second. But these are the last two all lace, 100% hand-tied wigs that I've got. So let's just first go into that. And you'll see on this cap, I'll show you in a second, it's pretty much the same. Now, I got a pretty good deal here, because I not only got these two all lace, 100% hand tied, and the lace is great quality. You'll see when I put this one on my head, it doesn't really mesh as well with my pasty self, but with my tan self, it looks fantastic. That lace is really good quality. You can see right here that you can't really even see the demarcation of it where it meets my forehead, and also I did buy these in a 1B from her. They were all darker color, so they were like this color, and then I started lightening them. Long story short, I was going to try and gift one of these to another girl if I could get the color right for her. She's having a hard time just finding her unicorn mermaid hair, and then she's also having a hard time in life. And anyways, I was just trying to help her, and so I started lightening these. I got these well after I decided I didn't want to do all lace anymore, but since they came with a silk-based closure and a topper, neither of which I've ever had on their own, I was extremely interested in this deal. Now, the girl that I got these from is super sweet. I still talk to her now, and I don't want any of this to reflect badly on her, because maybe she didn't even see these things either. But when I started lightening them, I started noticing some things that I didn't notice at first, which is why I have no idea what I'm going to end up doing with these, and they're just kind of set to the side, which is why this one is still kind of looking blue-orange. Is once I realized it, there was just no going back, and I didn't even feel the need to tone because I have no idea what I'm doing with this. So on this one, you might be able to tell right there, I noticed it wasn't very noticeable until I started lightening it, and then you can see there's a patch right there of hair that just like is super short. That's not gonna work. That doesn't work. Does not work. So I put some color on this to pull it up from that 1B, and when I noticed that, I just kind of stopped and gave up on this one. This might be something I could do with like a braid or a headband over that area perhaps, but I kind of just gave up and stuck it back in its case. Now let me show you this one, and then I'll show you the inside of this. So here's the inside of the one I was just showing you. And maybe you might be able to see this a little better now that I've got it off my head, but you can see those little short pieces right there. And I didn't even use bleach or anything on this one, so I know that that one wasn't me. Now this one right here, I probably should have showed you when I had it off, but they're complete bald spots where as I started to bleach this one and then I was washing out the bleach, I noticed, and I'm just gonna go ahead and take the blame for this one because it could have been me bleaching these knots right on, and I guess that's a point. Let me slow myself. So it could have been me when I was bleaching, because that's one thing that you always hear with all lace wigs or even with lace front that people do is they bleach the knots, which let's talk about what that means while I'm showing you this. So the knots are where each piece of hair has been tied into the lace. And when we go into some of our do-it-yourself videos, you're gonna see that because we're gonna make knots by tying the hair into the lace. The problem becomes when you have really thick hair, or if you're tying more than one piece of hair at a time into the lace, and then you can see the knots, especially in dark hair. So what people will do is they will bleach the inside of the cap to bleach the knots so that they're not as visible. And everybody's always like, don't bleach your knots, use makeup or whatever else the case might be, because it weakens the hair. And that's 100% true. Bleach is weakening your hair, point blank period. And I will turn around and see if you can see any of the bald spots. Again, I didn't get this for myself. I just kind of got it because I really wanted the bundle deal that she got me. But I immediately stopped work on this when I realized all those bald spots, because even though I was just going to gift one of these to someone, I can't gift her something like that. I don't feel comfortable with that. So this one got shelved. Let me show you. So it could have been me bleaching that it just came right on out. I, again, am not going to blame the seller that I got this from, because I didn't see it before I started doing anything with it. But one way or another, that's not going to work when you're wearing that for me. I don't like that. So that's that. Those are those two things. What also came in that deal was this. This is a topper, a silk-based topper. I've never owned a topper in my life, and the girl that I bought these from, I'll go back through our conversations, and if I have any of the information on where she got these things from, I will link them. But that right here is the silk-based part, and then the topper. So I don't even know how to put this on. I've never worn one. Obviously, we can't wear that with the wig grip, can we? But let's try and do this. Let's try and do it. Oh, you know, I guess I probably could wear this with the wig grip. Maybe one that has a lace front added on it, but I don't know how that would work since the topper doesn't go to the bottom of my head. The wig grip would still be down right here. That wouldn't work out so well. So it almost feels like this topper needs a lace front added to it. And I don't know if that's a thing with toppers, but I guess we'll find out, won't we? Okay, so I probably do not have, oh, you okay? Got children passing, children. Okay. So this is what it looks like. I could see, once again, why she would be frustrated with this because it's like this hair right here. I don't know what you do with that. And this is the first time I've tried this on. I've had this for a little while, but I've never actually put it on and messed with it until just now. This silk base is good though. I mean, that looks realistic. I think this would be something that if I were to wear toppers, I would pull out my own hair and try and blend. And I would probably want to have some of my own hair that's longer because if it's like blowing in, if a wind blows, that's what you'd see. I'll have to look back at this video and see what it is. But overall, the hair quality, it feels really good. I think this is, yeah, this must be a all hand-tied topper because I don't feel any wefting. I'll take another peek when I take this off to be for sure. But overall, I mean, it's cute, it's comfortable, it's super, super breezy because it's not going all the way down. So it might be fun in the summer. Just might need to have some longer hair there. But the money, again, if you're watching this, you know who you are. I didn't even say anything to you when I saw those spots on those two lace wigs because A, I could have very well done them. And B, the money that I spent for all of this was well worth it just to see this. And this right here, which is a silk base closure. I love it. I've been looking for a quality supplier to buy these from. And unfortunately, if I remember our conversations, you weren't sure where this came from, and I will correct myself if that's wrong. But I love the silk base closures. I just love it, and I love how this one came with some lace on the front, so I could go ahead and it's already been densely kind of added like a little lace front on there, but they left some generous amount on there, so I could ventilate some more on that if I want, or tweak it to what I would like it to look like. And then you're like, what are you gonna do with the closure? Is that like a mini topper and you just like wear it right there? Well, I guess you could if you only have like a bald spot like right there. I suppose you could. You just put some clips maybe all around it and then clip it onto your head, maybe behind your hairline a little bit. But my thought is, I'm making a wig, girlfriends. I've done it before, not with the silk base topper though, just with a regular type of, this is a closure. I don't know why I keep calling it a topper. This is a closure, but you could make it into a topper. In fact, you saw the silk base on this topper is only like this big, so this would be a generous sized topper on your, closure on your topper. And then she also gave me these bundles of hair that came with it. And again, they aren't my color, but I do know how to color. And since this hasn't been ventilated onto a wig, I don't have to worry about any bald spots. So that's gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to this. I also do have some more bundles of hair and another closure coming to me that's already been lightened from a different vendor that I just purchased from. So more to come on that ahead, not in this video, but in the future. And then, so that was what I got from this purchase from her. Definitely well worth it. Even with those two wigs, I could probably fix those. I could actually just ventilate hair into the bald spot on that blonde one, and then I could remove the hair that's all short and spiky and replace it with longer hair once again. So it's not like anything, I don't hold any grudges because once again, she A, may not have seen it, and B, I might have done it. Okay, but while we're talking closures, and I just showed you that, I'm gonna now move into, before we get to the rest of the wigs, I'm gonna show you some closures and a frontal that I purchased that are all lace before I even knew about this whole silk base goodness. These I got off Amazon. So let's do the closures first, shall we? This is a closure because here, I'll just show you, this is the closure. And as we talked about, it kind of goes right there, but then it also goes back a little bit, right? And then this is what is referred to as a frontal because it's meant to lie along the entire front perimeter of a wig. Very similar. And I've heard people use the terms interchangeably. but that's what I've seen the most. So all of these I got off of Amazon. I will link the sellers. This one was a really, really dark one that I started lightening just to see how lightened I could get it. And similar to that first Amazon wig that I was sharing with you, where it was really, really dark and it just never really got to like a platinum color, and it stayed more, and I kept it in like the ashy brown type of level. But this one just did not want to get past that stage either. So it's kind of like an ugly, muddy color right now because I just stopped. Once again, I have so many projects that I like to do, but I will show you while I've got both of these. So let's talk for a second before I shift into the wigs, and we'll get into more of this when I do the video on do-it-yourself wigs. But since I have them out, in case you're curious, and maybe you never come back and watch that video, at least I can say I showed you something. So this is a silk base, this is a lace. You'll see some pictures that I will link right now. Showing the difference, but let's just look at it firsthand, shall we? So you can see when you part this, it looks more like skin. Because what this is actually there's two different levels of material in a silk base. See, I just pulled this up. So there's the silk that's in there. It's like the silk-based material. And the hair is actually knotted past that. So where this hair is knotted right on the lace, so if you were to part this, you see whatever you've got underneath it, like I just put my finger there. And that's why in these types of wigs, people talk about knots. Maybe I should show you in the brown one so you can see that better. So here's that frontal, but it's the same concept. You see when it's parted how you can see all those little dots? Those are where each one of the hairs has been knotted, and you don't see where each one of the hairs has been knotted in this because the knots are below that silk-based layer. You can do lots of things to hide these, like we talked about, bleach, makeup. There are various other things that you could do. I don't like having to do all that. Even though I love do it yourself, I have not found any success with those. Maybe we'll play around with them later at some point. I highly believe in like never really writing something off, but just setting it aside and coming back to it later. Never know what you might learn and what it might help you to do at some point down the future, but I just really prefer to have it come easy when I put it on. I don't want to have to consistently put makeup or anything. Although, on that same note, if you do get one of these silk base and it's just way too light for your complexion, you can use powder makeup to tint that silk base. And it's usually the powder, you know, you just dust while you're dusting your face, just dust your part. I've heard you could do the same thing with these. Again, I have not found that hides the knots for me at all. I did try something with a foundation concealer, and that worked slightly. It was all right. Now, bye. Have fun. Keep us posted, please. All right, whatever. Or I have also heard that some girls use this, like put it into either a Rit color bath or a tea bag. They'll boil tea, and then the color of that tea base is perfect for them, and so they'll dip it in there and it will dye the color of the silk base. What you need, buddy? So that's all we have there. Now let's go ahead and move into the rest of the human hair wigs that we have. Mullet. Now this is what's called a bandfall, Bandfall, I've heard all of those terms. This is not a silk base. This is just wefted hair on a, like, I think this would be like a 3/4 of a wig cap. And it's meant to be worn with a headband. I know you've seen, well, I don't know you've seen, but I do have some other videos where, I know this is a wig grip, but imagine this being a headband. You can wear it like that. You can wear it just like right like that. I also did a video where I wore a lace wig grip. Let's just do it, shall we? And then put the band on top. And then put a headband right on that area where the two meet, right there. So you're actually kind of making a wig out of a band and a lace grip. You can also pull that back, so if you don't want to just have like little peekaboo, you could go ahead and pull this back and then put your headband over that. You might want to use some tape or something to keep that down, or if you're just gonna not be moving it around because you're just going to work out, but you just want to give the effect of looking like you've got a hairline instead of just nothing, with the headband being right at the beginning of your forehead, you could do that. Overall, I really like this one. Again, it was human hair. I got it on the Facebook Marketplace. I ended up finding a reseller that, she hasn't sent me any deals recently, but she had some amazing deals. I got this for a really, really, really good price. The next wigs that we're gonna get into include a wig that I got from her, and all of the next section of my wigs are all gonna be with fitted caps, lace fronts, and silk bases. Well, not all of them have lace fronts, but they all are that, what I used to refer to as Jewish style, and now I just try to be very clear when I say they are a fitted cap and may or may not have lace front added, but they all have a silk base. Before I forget, let's show you the inside of the wig cap for this one. Right there is normally where the silk base would go, but as you can see stitching, because that's where somebody stitched the hair on there. This is another one that I got from that same seller I was just showing you with the Bandfall. This is silk top, silk base, standard front. There's no lace front on there, and as you can see, it was very well used, which is why I got such a good price on it. It's not hurting anything, and I don't use these typically, so I need to sew this side back on, but this has been like an experimental wig. I've used it to most recently add some length in by gluing extra hair in there. So the hair was originally only about that long, and then I added some length to it. You can watch that other video if you want more specifics on that. Since it is a standard cap, I'll just go ahead and show it to you with this lace grip on, since I have that on already. It's not a terrible, it's not an exact match at all. I might want to use one of my lighter ones, but you can see the gist of, I'd have to maybe curl this hair to have it match the texture. Now I will take this lace grip off, I will take this lace grip off and show you what it would look like just without a lace front. Not terrible, but I would definitely suggest probably pulling out some of your own hair if you are a blender, if you have any hair to blend, or just wearing it strategically, laying kind of forward so that it creates that shadow effect and people can't really tell that that's a wig cap meeting your forehead. My eye wig. I love this wig. Let me just put that out there. I didn't love the price, but I do love this wig. This quality is great. As I've mentioned before in a lot of other videos, if you aren't wanting to get all savvy with figuring out vendor lingo and trying to buy direct to save money, I highly suggest you look up Shannon with the iWig Boutique, because she really does a good job of giving you excellent customer service and working with you to make sure that the color you pick out is exactly what you want. Just gonna say, I have a bit of an emotional attachment with this hair because it was the first wig that I ever wore in front of all of my family and friends. To not dip into a side conversation too much, but long story short, I saw everybody all at once, and it was right after I got this wig, and it fooled everyone, including my mom. I have some videos on that whenever I did do the reveal months later, and she had no idea that this was a wig the entire time. I have since found some other wigs that I have been able to fool her just as much, that they don't cost quite the same amount, but I don't want to discount the eye wig at the same time. 100% happy with this. The only negative was that price point, which again, customer service from Shannon is fantastic. if I had not got the know-how and everything that I know now, that is worth that extra money if you don't know that, understand it, or want to. So with that said, the iWig is got a little itty bitty lace front, just like all the other ones you're getting ready to see. They all have the very little, maybe like a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch lace front that connects to a silk base closure. And then this one is mostly all hand tied, but at the end and the back you will see a couple of sections on the nape that were wefted, but it's literally like this section right here, so not very many. And the cap is really interesting. It's got what's called a solace cap, and that means it's got this sweat wicking material that if you wear this without a wig cap or something else like that, it will help to absorb some of the moisture from you getting all sweaty and stuff, and it will just absorb it so that it's not just your head getting all sweaty. It helps keep you cool, in other words. Another thing with this wig that I think somebody did ask me, do I still wear my iWig regularly? And yeah, I really was, even after I found the other ones that I really like. And I will still wear this from time to time, but now that it's getting to be fall and winter here, I do prefer myself in longer lengths. I really like long hair. So this is a long length. It's a pretty good length, but I prefer longer. So I think this is gonna be mostly like summer, with an occasional rotation there in the fall and winter and spring, but it'll be mostly my summer, especially because of what I just said with the solace cap, which I'll show you right now. Here you can see that lace front like I talked about, and this, my friends, is the solace cap. Right there, I think it's the silk base, probably that section, or actually this is like a silicone type of material, so perhaps, and that goes all the way around, perhaps if you don't have any hair, that might help to keep it to your head. This is actually the silk base area. Moving around this right here, it's a very interesting type of cap. Again, it's fitted, so it is perfect for what I like, but there's like a bendable, like moldable type of material in there. I don't know if you can see that or not, that bar. And it kind of helps that you can bend it in towards your head. Of course, there is the wefts, the sewing that you can see from the wefts on the other side, but the rest of this is all hand tied, which is why you don't see any of that. And then on the other side, you just see that other ear tab. I meant to mention also with the iWig that all of the wigs that you're going to see, including iWig from this point forward, that lace front, if they have a lace front on them, is perfect for blending in the skin, which is why it didn't stand out, so I didn't even think to mention it. Now this right here, my friends, is one that I kind of, again, I have come to terms with. At first, I really didn't like it so much because it was super thick, and it still is thick, but I've figured out how to kind of manipulate it. It still does get tangled quite a bit, especially in the back. And after I ran into a local wig shop just to see if they had any like silk-based closures, side story, but as I was talking to the owner, she was commenting on how nice this hair was, and she mentioned that she could kind of see that too, and it's because the wig cap is a large wig cap. So let me back myself up. This hair I got from Lynn Marsh. She is the owner of Lou's Wigs. So you might have heard either one of those, so either talk about Lou's Wigs or Lynn. This is where I got this from. Love the color. Love this color. That's exactly, I saw it. Shannon had the same one. Shannon from iWig. I mean, just because you own a company or you are working for a company or affiliated with the company doesn't mean you can't like other brands. So Shannon had the same one. We, used to laugh and say that we were hair twins, but I saw it on her and I was like, I have to have that. And then when this one came available, I jumped on it. But when I got it, unfortunately, it was just really poofy right up here, and the density in front wasn't working for me so much. It just felt like it just started like immediately right here, real thick. But again, as you can see, I've kind of manipulated it and gotten it to work for me. I love this color so much, and I love the length. I am so happy to kind of, pull off those, because I had it for sale, because I'm like, I'm not going to do anything with this, and Again, this was a pretty penny as well. So this was maybe like $100 less than my eye wig, which if I didn't say the price of my eye wig, that was about $1,000, right under $1,000. And this was right over 800. I want to say maybe 815. And I have seen her wigs go anywhere between like usually 7 to 9-ish. And I think the reason that I got this for a little over 8 was because when she sold it to me, it was one that she had been wearing herself for a little bit because she really loved it and wanted to keep it. And she had already cut the lace. So that was probably maybe why I got a little bit of a cheaper discount, because for this length and this beautiful color, you don't usually see them for that inexpensive amount. Anyhow, the hair is Mongolian, and I believe the eye wig as well is Mongolian, but the textures do feel different. This one is more prone to tangling, which if I stay on it every day and brush it out and put product in there, it does a pretty good job of keeping it from tangling. But that was where I was going with that story, is that this is a large wig cap. So that might be something to take into consideration when you're buying wigs, is make sure that you do get an appropriate wig cap. I did not intend to get a large wig cap, let's just say that. But since I did, it gets bulky in the back. And this wig owner that I had met around here locally for a completely different reason, I was wearing this when I went in there, and she noticed that. She could even tell, which then it kind of made me super self-conscious, like, I went home and I was like, can you guys see that it's bulky when I'm walking around? Can you tell? But I think she just has an eye for it because she's like a wig girl. But everybody told me they can't. However, she did give me some ideas on what I could do to make this work for me instead of trying to resell it, or instead of like cutting up the cap, because I'm super scared to do that with this especially. What I will say is that the reason if I'm wearing this and I'm not always calling out what I'm wearing or giving, you know, promotion to Luz in her company, is because it just, after I bought this, there was a whole situation, and I don't even want to feed into the drama, but I'm just going to say it just kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. And I really feel like if you're going to be a reseller in our groups and you're going to invest yourself and be a part of the communities and not just be like a seller, I really feel like you should be honest with people. Now, I don't know what else to say. I really don't want to, again, feed into that too much, and I don't want to create any sort of drama. I will say that this is excellent wig. Besides the cap being too big and it getting tangly and sometimes, you know, feeling a little heavy, I love this wig. You saw I wore it a lot in my past few videos. It was like my regular wear. And I hate to like not also say what I'm wearing or who I'm wearing, but it's one of those kind of like the eBay wig. I don't want to promote someone that I feel I don't support now. I'll just put it that way. I'm just gonna say that. I don't want to corrupt anyone's thoughts. I will just say I was a part of some groups and have seen some things, and there are two sides to every story. There really are. But I don't promote because I just was left with a bad taste in my mouth, and that's all I'm gonna say. Great hair though. So if you want to go to her and spend $700 to $900 on a wig like this, make sure you get the right cap, which she didn't tell me the wrong cap. It just, again, was kind of a miscommunication, I want to say, and I'll put the onus on myself. But other than that, yeah, there you go. And here's the inside of the wig. As you can see, oops, large. Oh, and this is wefted. I guess I thought I had a mostly hand-tied, but as I'm looking at it now, you can see all these lines right here means that it is wefted. So this is a good example, sort of a lace front, because it has lace in the front, wefted. All right, this is one I most recently did a review on right after receiving. This is my Jewish wigs only that I just received in the mail recently. Now, I have not done anything after I washed and let it air dry besides kind of just put my fingers through it. So I apologize. I probably should have styled this and maybe several others of my wigs. You could kind of see what they look like when they're in all their glory. But I also didn't want to take up too much time making this video because it's already just about darn near Saturday night now. I started this yesterday. So I'm apologizing right now. If you want to see this all styled and everything, check out that video. And also, if you want to see this or any of the other ones that I have tried on today, including any of the ones that were up front and they were all lace, and you want to see me try and style them or straighten them, do anything to kind of help you in case you're on the fence about buying them, even if I didn't like them or not, I'm happy to do that for you. So let me know if you have any requests. Otherwise, this is the Jewish Wigs Only hair. Again, it's the last of the ones that you're going to see with the lace front and the silk base. This is also a wefted one, just like the one before. And it was like half price of the one I just showed you before as well. It feels similar, only I think this one was actually Brazilian hair rather than Mongolian. It feels a little silkier, but it's funny because when I show you the inside, you'll see that they look very, very similar to one another. And whenever it's all curled and everything, and I haven't like put my hands through it 1,000,001 times, it does dry with that beachy wave kind of look, that beachy curl. I think I've just probably, it just feels so smooth. I can't stop putting my fingers through it. So it looks a little kind of crazy right now, just long and undone. So I'm happy to curl this up or do something else if you'd like to see that. I love it though. I really love it. The quality is fantastic. Like I said, it's super smooth. I had some highlights added in there and I love them. When you look, it's kind of hard to tell, even in that video that I made, they look a little on video, I'm looking at myself right now, as if it's stripey, but I'm telling you, in real life, it really doesn't look like that. It looks more like balayaged because they don't start right at the root and they're not even. So like one might start up here and one might start kind of up there and one might start down there. It looks really nice. I thought the craftsmanship was really, really good. I'm probably discrediting it by showing it to you like this without curling it and making it look all pretty, because I really am happy with this wig. I just want to get this video done and out to you so I can start handcrafting the lace grip like we talked about earlier. So let me know if you want to see anything else on this later outside of this video, and I will go ahead and show you the cap now. Here's that lace front. Going around to the adjustable straps. This one is actually medium, fits me really, really well. Again, that's really important. Here's the lines from the wefts being sewn in, and then obviously that is the silk base. It's the final countdown. We're at the last 4 wigs. So the last 4 wigs, including this one that I'm going to show you, are all going to be standard. I will start out by showing you what they look like without a lace front added to them. Although I'm not blending anything, I'm just putting it right at my hairline and showing you. And then I will also put them on with one of my lace grips. Just want you to be able to see, if you were interested in getting one of these standard caps, what you might be able to do with or without a lace front. This is my new one wig. Poor little thing. I don't know if you can tell or not, but look at the movement of this hair. It's still silky, smooth. Again, this is air dried. I have not done anything to it besides color the crap out of this poor baby girl. I have been toying with different ways that I want to color her, put color in her. Don't judge me right there. There's some lines of, I was trying to do a root smudge and then a color melt. Anyhow, we're not done. We are not done, but I still wanted to show you the hair. Even though it's looking a crazy hot mess right now, it's not the hair's fault, it's just the color. So look past the color. This was a color, I will link all the information of how I got it, but just know that I am the one who's messed with this hair color about 1,000,001 times, and this hair quality is still so smooth. There's not been any shedding. It was Virgin European when I bought it. and fantastic. I bought from Alan. He is amazing to work with. He might be a little bit like Mr. Business when you talk to him because he really is all business, but I just can't imagine how he does it with talking to 5,000,001 people that he talks to and how he even manages. So he's definitely, he might seem a little curt and to the point, but he has some great hair, and I got this one on special. They run specials quite a bit, so if you reach out to him, ask him about his specials. Now let me just show you with a lace grip on. I'll try and find one that I've got with a light color that will kind of mesh with it, and then I'll show you the cap. Okay, the color doesn't really match 100%, and this part is not trained to kind of match up with the part, which you can do relatively easy with just water and maybe, or some heat tools. I just wanted to show you this one with a wig grip attached so you can kind of see the difference in how maybe this standard cap wig would look if it actually had hair that matched it and was in the same part area, trained to lay in the part, or if you were going to blend your own hair. So it works pretty well. I think it looks really good. I would just again need to kind of train my parts to go together, and then obviously lighten the wig grip to match. So new one, definitely highly recommend. Here's the inside of that new one cap. You can see the wefted hair as it's been sewn on there. This is the silk base layer. Pretty standard stuff. The next 3 wigs, I'm going to apologize right now. I don't have vendor information for where you can buy them from because I got them from contacts of mine who work like brokers, right? We talked about that earlier with the whole McDonald's guy getting an RB sandwich thing when I was in the wig grip section. So I'm gonna give you everything I can give you on specifications and all of that good stuff. If you are interested in getting this exact one that I have, contact me and I'll reach out to the contacts that I have and see if they can get that, and then I'll give you some pricing information and all of that good stuff. Otherwise, I'll give you everything you need to know that you could maybe take that to your favorite wig vendor and get that done for you from them just by telling them the type of hair, color, or length and different layer style. So I went ahead and put this on with the wig grip I was wearing because I already had the wig grip on. I will show you next one without it not being connected to the wig grip because this one is a standard. Again, all the information on the details on this are going to be right here and in the description. I bleached this one as well. So this one came to me as a color 4-6. I think it was supposed to be mostly 6, but I did get a message saying that it did have some 4 in there as well. As you can tell, and you'll see more when I take off this darker wig grip, I have brought it to a very, very, very light blonde. And then I went back and kind of added some roots in there because I had initially just bleached it all and realized, why did you do that? You like roots. But very good quality, once again, similar to the Jewish style, only it's not as thick, and I think it was just a smidge shorter. So it's really like a very authentic density. It's, again, I wouldn't call it thin by any means, but it's not thick at all either. It's very realistic. Let me take this wig grip off and you can see more of the color and how it would look if you would like to blend, or if you're gonna try it without. So here it is without the lace front wig grip. You can see that blonde color now, that it doesn't have that brown in the front from the wig grip hiding it. I really do love it. The color came out quite nicely, if I do say so myself. I thought about actually adding maybe a little bit more brown back in as lowlights, but I'm gonna sit on it for a little while because I do like me some blonde too. But again, you can see right up there at my front. So if I pulled out some of my own hair, it might look a little bit better. And I will show you the cap now. So again, very, very similar. You can see the wefted hair where it's been sewn on, that silk base, standard cap, medium. The last two wigs that I just showed you, I should have explained and said, and I will also put that in the description, but those were both small layer. And so the links for them are from the crown. This is referred to in the vendor lingo as a big layer. And I'll do a whole video on that. I just want to make sure that I point out the different layers because that can make a difference when you're looking at lengths that are specified. Like those last ones I think are going to be described as maybe a 16-inch, maybe a 14 and a 16 or something like that. But obviously you can tell they're all the way up here, so you're like, that's not what I'd consider a 14 or a 16-inch, but they're also coming from the crown in certain layer types. Now this one, since it's a big layer, it is sometimes referred to as the crown or the nape. So I guess I would just make sure to point out, if you're working directly with a vendor, ask them where that measured length is coming from. Is it a finished length, meaning from top to the longest layer, or does it reference a layer from the crown or a layer from the nape, or what? Now this one I've got on without a wig grip, a lace wig grip, so it's just the standard cap is right here. You can see me. And again, I can't give you the vendor information because I didn't really get it from a company. I got it through one of my contacts. So once again, if you're interested in the same type, let me know and I can see if they can still obtain it. And if so, I'll give you like pricing information. Otherwise, I will link the specifics around everything that I know, color, length, style, and everything in the description and right here. So that way you can take those to your favorite wig vendor or seller and see if they can replicate them for you. Next, I'll put this on with the wig grip and then I'll show you the cap. And here it is with a lace wig grip. So you can see that right there. Kind of have my parts matching up. This is probably one of my favorite wigs as well, so it's unfortunate that I realized after the fact that the person I got it from was just kind of working like a broker, so I love it. I think it looks really realistic with that lace grip and the colors match pretty well, but I think it looks pretty good. Last wig coming up after the cap construction. I'll show you this first. Okay, once again, just a standard cap here. You can see where the wefts were sewn in. No lace front because this is the standard, but then there is where the silk base is. Here we are. This is the last wig. So this is the one that I started us out with. This is another one that I colored myself. So when you look at the details on this, please note that I have altered it. So if you think that you're not going to get any of these blonde lights by ordering what is listed as the description, I'll also try to put that in the description as well. I hope that you find this helpful, and I hope that maybe this might help you to discover what you would like in a wig. I'm not going to take this off without, because I already did that at the beginning of the video, so if you missed that part, you can see this in the wig grip section because I did take it off and show you what it looked like without the wig grip on. But anyhow, now that's a wrap. So if you have any questions about any of the human hairs that I've shown you, we've talked about, again, what's coming up next in my playlist that you will see is later tonight, I'm going to maybe get my hands dirty with trying to ventilate a lace wig grip on my own, like legit do it yourself kind of stuff. So I will make sure to record all of that and then a video to follow, whether I'm successful or unsuccessful. So I'm gonna just put that out there right now. The next video will probably be what happens when Mandy tries to ventilate her own lace grip. And then we will also be looking at making your own wig following, and then going back to everything else. So again, lots of videos ahead that we've talked about and I've talked about in other videos that I plan to get to. If one of them just has you churning your butter more than another, is that a saying? I liked it, it sounded good. But let me know if you're interested in one more than the other. Either way, I'm planning on the do-it-yourself stuff first because that's what's got me churning my butter. All of my boys are sitting right here by me and that nobody looked. Nobody looked at me like, what's she talking about? Churning butter? Okay, he says. All right. Happy Saturday or whatever day it is for you that you are watching this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for all the advice that you've given. And I hope that some of this that I've given is helpful to you.